You are the best. Good morning.
Good morning.
We can do better than that. Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, Ingrid is the best. Can we give her a round of applause? Isn't she great? Isn't she terrific? I mean, I'm looking at this turnout. I'm like, wow, this is nice. Must be nice being in District 4. Let me just say a couple of things before and I'm going to be very brief because you've got some really good people coming up behind you. Of course, now, when I say I'm going to be brief, I'm going to be long. I've learned that's the way these things go. But, Ingrid talked about economic development and the things that we're doing in the county. And, and our push toward, really just making sure people understand something I truly believe, and that is Prince George's County is the economic engine of the Washington region and the state of Maryland. This is where it happens. But one of the things she did not talk about is how we came into office together during those first great couple of months when we took over. She as chair and I as county executive. And the sky was shining. It was bright. There were no problems. Money was plentiful. Manna from heaven. Everything was great. And, we roll into office, the two of us together, and first thing we're hit with is 14 homicides in 14 days. In that first year, we have a hurricane, a snowstorm, a 100-year flood, an earthquake, no money. Did I say no money? Can I repeat? No money. And a very welcoming, nice General Assembly that said, we have no money and we have none to give you, but we're going to take some of yours back. So we came into office with those things, and we could have done what probably I wanted to do, which was quit. But instead what happened was we decided that we were going to work together. That if we were really going to make Prince George's County what it should be, that we were not going to let other people define who we are and what we're going to be, that meant the council, the county executive, and our entire team had to work together. That all of the stuff that people had heard about Prince George's County in the past was wrong, because it was. This county has always been on the move. The thing that we had to do by working together was make people understand exactly the fact that we were going to take charge of our own destiny. And how do we do that? First of all, we pulled together our team to work on public safety. Every Monday morning, the state's attorney, the sheriff, my executive team, our police department got together and talked about not the crimes that had happened, but how do we prevent those? We worked with the council to put more money into public safety. For the first time in a long time, you saw an increase in the sheriff's office, an increase in the state's attorney's office, an increase in our public safety at a time when revenues were down, when we were closing a $77 million deficit. We increased education funding. We didn't do what everybody else in the region was doing. We went left because we wanted people to understand that education and public safety were the hallmarks of this county. We did something else. We took one of the boldest moves ever taken, I think, in this United States, especially in this region. Every other jurisdiction, and you're going to have some great speakers coming up, and David Iannucci is here with us, our Deputy Assistant CAO for Economic Development and Infrastructure, one of those long titles that I never understand. But one of the things we did with David as we were putting together this new government was, while he was over in Baltimore County, we invited him over for breakfast, and then we stole him. But one of the things we asked him was, how much money is everybody else in the region putting in their economic development incentive fund? And he said, I think Montgomery County was doing $4 million. Baltimore City was doing $5 or something along there, Baltimore County. And so we said, well, what would be a number that really would get people's attention? And he said, well, if you put 20 million in there, but nobody's doing 20 million, the state's doing 70 million. I said, would that get their attention? He said, yeah, that would get their attention, $20 million, I said, well, what would get them to say, wow, or you're crazy? Because that's really what I was shooting for, you're crazy. He said, $50 million. I said, $50 million. I said, wow. Damn, that's a great idea. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put $50 million in an economic development incentive fund. And everybody said, because I'm new, young, or at least I was when I started. And they said, well, you got to get that through the council. I said, well, who's not going to be excited about $50 million? I know I am. My kids are. But we worked with our chair, Ingrid Turner, and we were able to craft legislation that made Prince George's County have a $50 million incentive fund. The only fund larger is the state's $70 million. What does that do for us? What does it do for you? We wanted to send a clear message to the business community that we were not only open for business, but we were going to be aggressive. That we were not only willing to go everywhere and tell our story about how this is the place that's going to expand, but we were going to put some skin in the game. $50 million. And we took that proposal up to Wall Street, which, of course, reminded me I had no money. But I did have a AAA bond rating that was in trouble. And I told them, I said, I got a plan. They said, what's your plan? I said, $50 million. They said, wow. I said, exactly. But if it wasn't for the leadership of Ingrid during that first year, when we had that, look what we get, the $50 million incentive fund, which was, just think about it. At a time when the revenues are flat, everybody's trying to figure out how you save money, to go into your fund balance and to say, we're going to try and inject life into the economy. I mean, a lot of people are skeptical. At the same time, you're increasing funding for education and you're holding the line and increasing funding for public safety. It is risky, but it's the type of risk that the leadership that Ingrid showed that we were able to do. But she didn't just stop there. She reminded me that during the campaign, I talked a lot about health care and that I had tasked our then Deputy CAO, Brad Seaman, in charge of health care. And that, I made these promises that I was going to do something. I said, well, that was the campaign. I wanted to win. But working together, we did something where people thought absolutely, and even I, quite honestly, in all seriousness, did not know that this would happen, and actually did not think it would happen, certainly within the first year, which is why I said during the campaign, before my administration is over, had I known it was going to happen the first year, I'd have said, within the first year, we're going to craft a deal to bring a new hospital to Prince George's County. I'd like to say that it was my idea to make this a regional healthcare facility larger than a hospital. You know what? It is my idea. No, but it was working with Ingrid and the council and her leadership. Just think about this. We were able, Brad Seaman, Ingrid, and a small group of people got together and started working on this idea of building a regional healthcare facility almost the first day after the primary, after she became chair of the council. They started working on it, and part of the deal was when we finally got the state, dimensions, was we needed to have the council sign off on this within a short period of time. So that meant Ingrid had to go and shepherd this through in a very, I'm talking about 15 days. We had to explain everything we had done, what this was going to do, and commit the fact that we were going to put our money up to build this. She was able to do it. No one thought it would. In fact, she and I went to together with their big board, nice boardroom, and they gave us a history of Prince George's County coming to the altar and then running. After that, Ingrid made one of the best speeches I've seen and convinced the board that we were serious, that she could get it done, and we did it. That right there, that regional healthcare facility, is going to be the biggest landmark of Prince George's County, bar none. For the first time, we're not only going to build a hospital, but a regional facility for the southern part of the state of Maryland in healthcare, one of the leading industries, and also one of the areas where we have indicators in this county and in this state that we need to turn around. Prince George's County is now going to be the leader. What that means is we're also going to, that's another economic development engine that we can spur in this county, and it's because of her leadership. Can we give her another round of applause, please? And I could go on about all the great things that we're doing. We just opened a 311 call center and County Click where you can go on there and tell us your problems in real time. And somebody from my staff, I hope, will actually solve those problems. I can talk about the great work that Gwen McCall and her team are doing, getting the funds out the door. We went to India on our first trade mission, and we brought back how many business?
It was 12 businesses, $60 million in revenue for the state of Maryland, and 20 for Prince George's County.
$60 million for the state of revenues for the state of Maryland, $20 million for Prince George's County. My first trade mission. I may stop after that. But great job. Let's hear it.